folks, how's it going? This is Bill once again with NSP and today we're going to be taking a look at a kind of unknown gem on the original NES called Super Spy Hunter. So this is kind of the sequel to the original Spy Hunter. It came a little bit afterwards, and it's an unknown gem from Sunsoft, who was known for having created a lot of the classic games like Batman, Gremlins 2, Journey to Silius, and even Fester's Quest. Yeah, I said that. Sunsoft games were known for always having fantastic music, and Super Spy Hunter really is no exception in that regard. Basically, with the game, you're driving around as this car and you're shooting a bunch of bad guys. That's really all there is to it. It's a lot of fun, it's high speed, and it's a great title. If you've never heard of it, highly recommend you check it out. So let's take a look at the back of the card here and let's see what the challenge is. Alright, so basically we're going to be getting to the end of the first level, getting up to the boss without firing a single shot. This is a kind of difficult challenge, and I say that because you're only given 4 hit points to start the level out, and normally you can go through the level, shooting the item trucks and picking up health power-ups and other kinds of things. But without firing shots, you got to play very defensive, even slowing down or stopping to avoid enemies. It's kind of tedious, but that's basically the strategy you got to take when you're doing this kind of a challenge. Obviously, it's very difficult, but it can be done, as the video will show. And I hope you guys like this one. Okay, here we go on a nice little pacifist run here, with nice being a very generous word. Alright, so at the start of this level, you're going to have some helicopters here. If you're very cautious and careful, you can scoot around them before you get shot, or you can always play very strategic and defensive and just slow down completely. Same thing with those blue trucks. Don't feel bad if you have to completely slow down to give yourself time to avoid shots and enemies here. The key thing to keep in mind is that there is no time limit here, so please, go as slow as you want. It's not the end of the world if you have to slow down. You will see a number of occasions where I do come to a complete stop here, and it is what it is. This is a very difficult challenge if you play full speed, and I honestly don't know if I could do this challenge at full speed, so that's why you're going to see a lot of what you have here. Now, normally you're going to see a lot of these like blue item trucks. You'll see some red trucks. Obviously, you can't shoot them, so there's no point in trying to worry about that stuff. So just go around them, or you can opt to just let them completely go by, and if you slow down completely to a stop, that's exactly what I did there. You're going to have railgun shooters here. Obviously, be very careful. You can't just stop. You will have to go by them, so do what you got to do. A couple more dangerous sections here. Slow down to let the truck pass if necessary, and then obviously go past the railgun shooters when it's safe. And that's really the first section here. Honestly, as far as this challenge is concerned, you shouldn't worry about having to lose any lives or take any hits for that matter until you get to the section where you go into the water. Right about here is relatively easy compared to what you're about to see halfway through the stage here. So do what you got to do, be very, very cautious. Just a lot of railgun shooters here, item trucks. You have a choice to go either way at this point. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. I opted to go off to the right-hand side here, and we're just going to continue on moving. Jump, 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 and we're going to move into the water section here. This is where it gets kind of tricky. Be very careful to maneuver around these missiles and these boats. I do a fairly good job at the start, but obviously I take a couple hits here. It's not the end of the world if you do take a hit or two. Try not to take 3 like this, because you're putting yourself in a very tricky, dangerous position. I probably could have done a better job there, but hey, it is what it is. As long as you take the stage relatively slow outside of the water section, you'll be fine. When you hit these jumps here, go over the jumps, obviously. I don't think it matters what speed you hit the jumps, hence why I'm going relatively slow. Just be very cautious, of course. I can't emphasize that enough. Alright, now you got the exclamation point here, and what that's about to tell you is you are moving into another different section. This is going to be the bridge section of the stage, if I'm not mistaken, coming up very shortly, and yes, there it is. Now, the bridge section is much like the beginning section of the game you saw, with the major difference being you're going to have the screen swaying back left and right, side to side, and that can get kind of interesting on the eyes and kind of bothersome if you don't know how to handle it, so just take your time with it. Like I said, you can go very slow, you can come to a stop if you need to. This section's really ugly. That blue car truck will try to drill you literally from behind if you're not ready for it, so you can't just stick straight in the back. Ooh, now we go. We got to go through the entire rest of the stage without taking a single hit, and we're in one of the more difficult sections here. So, ooh, honestly, that could have been it right there. Look how much crap you got flying at the screen at you here. You got missiles from above, you have these blue drill trucks from behind. You can't hit the side of the bridge more than like you normally would. Not that you should be hitting it at all. there are many occasions here where you could simply lose this challenge here. This is by no means a simple one. You do need to be very cautious here and strategic in how you move through the stage. Thankfully, we got through the bridge. That was probably the toughest remaining section. Now, it says the stop up here. Why does it say stop? Well, you're going to have a section where you have to slowly move across the trucks here. You can go left or right from there. It doesn't really matter. And that's the end of the stage. We made it. Challenge in the books.